It's all a part of this Epstein file. Uncle Luke had Jay-Z on the couch, and he had the girls off there freaking off while he was watching and everything. Jay couldn't take his eye off the girls.
What do you think about Jeffrey
Epstein was a CIA Mossad asset that was recruited and was doing a blackmail operation.
Do you think if she could have the choice between getting what did she get, $50 billion or not getting the syphilis?
We have some shocking news to report, folks. The latest drop of the Epstein files has left everyone stunned.
We've got disturbing news to break. The newest Epstein file release has sent shockwaves across the internet, and Jay-Z is now among the names being mentioned. Rumors have circulated for years about his alleged involvement with minors, but these latest revelations have taken things to a whole new level, raising serious questions and putting the spotlight firmly on federal authorities.
I know I'm late on this, but this is kind of crazy. What do you do to get thrown into that mix? And he posted a picture of Jay-Z and wrote the caption, "Damn, they got my man Jay in the Epstein files. I gotta do a doc on this."
Latest tranche of Epstein files from the Department of Justice contains around 3 million documents, thousands of still photographs, and hundreds of hours of video recording.
After federal investigators revisited old reports tied to the Epstein case, several anonymous tips resurfaced, originally submitted to a federal hotline after Epstein's arrest. One tip alleged involvement by Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein dating back to the 1990s, fueling suspicions of a potential connection between Jay-Z and Epstein. The claims gain further weight considering that some victims have publicly stated that high-profile celebrities were known to visit Epstein's island.
With regard to Epstein and some of the celebrity or well-known powerful people who are involved here.
Of course there is.
Absolutely. I'm probably more afraid of the people we don't know about.
Yeah.
The people you don't know about, the people who know that they may be on any kind of list that is.
People who are purposely trying to get that list to stay away or not be on that list. That's who scares me.
Powerful celebrities often used blackmail or money to keep their victims silent and their actions hidden. But with the latest release of Epstein's files, figures like Jay-Z can no longer stay in the shadows. Exposure is now unavoidable.
I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now.
Jaguar Wright has been speaking out more forcefully than ever, claiming that Jay-Z has evaded scrutiny for years despite troubling knowledge circulating behind the scenes. One shocking allegation alleges that he brought Rihanna into the country as a minor, with Rihanna herself reportedly confirming that she was pressured by Jay-Z to sign a contract.
So nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming.
And you had to sing a cappella for him?
Yes, I had to sing. I sang Fun to Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time.
Yeah. So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, "We don't sing songs here, we sing artists." And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, "And we're interested." And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he did it homework.
I did a lot of homework on you, this lady.
He said, there are 2 ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
Jaguar Wright claims she was present when Rihanna was signed and recalls people openly discussing how young she was. She alleges that Rihanna spent extended periods around powerful adults without her family, and as her career progressed, her team changed and she was increasingly kept under strict control.
And she was a kid at that time, correct?
A 15-year-old girl who had been flown to the United States without parental supervision or a chaperone, brought to a grown man's office in a large corporate Manhattan building. Everybody knew when she flew in. I was there the day she got signed. Everyone was talking about it. And the 6 hours that she spent with him and the 4 hours that she spent alone with him with no parental supervision. Her father didn't show up till the next day to come and collect the check.
Well, and
this isn't her life.
the rumors were even beyond that, right? That Jay-Z was cheating on Beyonce with her when she was
Very much
17
so.
is what a lot of this came out through a publicist who later then
Have
had
you
to
spoken
apologize.
to my friend Jonathan Hay? You should talk to Jonathan.
Please.
Because Jonathan was there. He was right there working with Rihanna. And it was right when they started crafting her to be seen as a brand and commodity only and not a person. And when I talk to Jonathan now, just to hear him when he thinks of his teenage daughters, he was like, Rihanna was the same age my girls are now. I couldn't imagine putting my daughters through what we put her through. And then the next thing you know, she was removed from that first team from Pound the Replay and replaced with all new handlers and kept sheltered in Los Angeles, where she was going out to parties and partying at 15, 16, 17 years old, hanging out at the Rainbow Room, hanging out. Yeah, like it was one of my friends who found out she was 17 when everyone thought she was 21. And he was like, yo, why do y'all got me carrying this girl around and she's it's cool, it's cool.
She also spoke about another teenager connected to Jay-Z, one who is often overlooked but deserves just as much attention, Foxy Brown.
At 15, 16, 17 years old. She was running all around Philadelphia because Jay-Z promised her that they could be, normal when she wasn't with Corrupt. Corrupt was her fake boyfriend, which is why when they tried to use her to say that she was actually in the car and there with Keepy D and all of that, I'm like, that girl wasn't even there. These women are pawns. Inga Marchand at 14 years old, 14 and a half, going on 15 years old, singing highly explicit and sexually charged, lyrics all written by Sean Carter. What kind of 27-year-old grown man turns a 14, 15-year-old girl virtually into a prostitute and gave her the nickname the Il Nana? No kidding.
She describes Jay-Z as a master of controlling his public image. While many see him as flawless, she claims that behind the scenes, everything is meticulously staged. In her words, power and control matter more to him than talent, and that's where his alleged connection to Epstein comes in. The disgraced financier not only pursued his own twisted desires, but also used them to gather blackmail material on powerful celebrities and politicians, silencing anyone who dared to speak out, a method, she suggests, that mirrors how Jay-Z operates.
My son died because he was my son.
He died because of your...
He was targeted because he's my son.
He
was working on his EP. I bought Philadelphia for him so he didn't have to sign to a company because I knew what it was going to do. He interned at Rock Nation. And they approached him to sacrifice me. I saw his death when he was 19. I moved us here to stop it, to prevent it, to avoid it. They take them anyway. To show you what the harm is. Giovanni, his death is why I do what I do.
Jay-Z has already faced lawsuits from women alleging that he exploited them, including when they were underage. When these claims are combined with existing accusations, it becomes increasingly difficult to dismiss the possibility of his involvement with Epstein. Adding weight to the allegations, Gene Deal has recently come forward, confirming that the claims about Jay-Z are very real.
I told y'all a lot of stories. I told y'all about Jay-Z, how he was, and it ain't no allege. It ain't no allege. These little girls was from our block. These little girls was from our block. Miss Pleasant ran with them. They all ran together and came to parties and shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to let Miss Pleasant, I'm going to try to talk her into telling that story. So y'all bear with me when she come back. She going to see this, but I'm letting y'all know. And don't none of you moderators sit up there and text her and try to forewarn her. I'm going to try to tell her and talk about the situation because it's all a part of this Epstein file. You know, look at that situation where Uncle Luke had Jay-Z on the couch and he had the girls off there freaking off while he was watching and everything. Jay couldn't take his eye off the girls now.
Gene Deal warns that the Epstein files could spell serious trouble for powerful figures in the music industry, including Jay-Z. He notes that many stories once dismissed as rumors are now beginning to match the revelations coming to light.
I know at that time,
right,
when he was messing with old girl,
right,
he had to be
no name.
30 years old.
Oh no, well he was in his late 20s, almost 30. You think
he was
it was 30?
He was 30. That nigga was 30. I know that nigga was 30 years old or better. Because I didn't know he was that old.
He used to pull up on the block and pick us up. Like, this is the thing. Like, they were messing with each other. Like, they were locked in for 2 whole years. And
well, Jay was locked in with a lot of people because I ain't gonna say that he was trying to get with Sugar.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I could see that. Pretty girl. Yeah.
He was trying to get with Sugar.
I could see that.
And back in the day, I ain't gonna speak on it, but
but what?
But nothing. Because you ain't gonna speak on your friend, don't speak on my shit.
Okay.
And I ain't gonna tell it.
Because you know I know that you know that I know that I know that you know that I know what you
don't play yourself, all right? All right. So now, what I'm trying to get y'all to see and what I'm trying to get y'all to say, I didn't lie when I told y'all this was messing with young girls.
Yeah, he was.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
I did not lie.
I know this for a fact.
This wasn't no capping the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
You understand? So now when these files come out and they start speaking about these cats and they sexapades and dealing with these young girls.
Gene Deal also sheds light on how powerful families protect themselves. When accusations start to circulate, those close to major stars often go into full defense mode. Lawyers are brought in, public images are managed, and silence becomes the default strategy. Many insiders know the truth but feel trapped, fearing that speaking out could cost them everything. He adds that politicians and public leaders once proudly posed alongside famous artists, but now, as past actions are questioned, everyone is on edge. Inevitably, this conversation turns to Bianco. She has publicly stated that she met Jay-Z at 18 and that their friendship evolved into a relationship over a year, all legally. That remains the official timeline, yet not everyone accepts it. Some industry insiders, including Gene Deal, suggest a different version, claiming that Jay-Z was significantly older and already involved in Bianca's life when she was still very young.
He first started dating Beyonce at 17, 18, he was 30-something. You didn't know his age. When I look back and see how old Jay-Z was, I think Jay-Z was born in like 69 or 67, something like that, 67 right there, 69. I think he was born in 69. Beyonce, they said she was born in 81. You understand? But back then, in 81, when we was in the club together, 98, 99, she wasn't even supposed to be in the club, but she was in the club. It was Club Eugene's. And Jay was dating her. And at that time, if you look at Jay's age, he was about 30 years old. So, isn't she still somewhat a child? To me, she is. But I guess they protect child. That's how you protect a child. You know, dating her at the age of 30-some years old and she's 17, 18 years old. If that's her true age. We really don't know her true age because Gabrielle Union said she went to junior high school with her, and Gabrielle Union is considered 6, 7 years older than Beyonce age that she getting. So we really don't know. You know what I'm saying? But to get back to your letter, I believe that the lawyer was doing what he did and he threw shade at Puff in the interim of that by saying that all celebrities, you may think all celebrities are alike, you know what I'm saying? He know he's under this situation with Puff. But you got to look at this right here. They sent him a letter. Busby sent him a letter for two reasons, I believe. To open up the floodgate, just like that 1-800 bad boy number did, and people start calling in saying what Puff did to them.
The discussion expanded to include Aaliyah. Dame Dash revealed that both he and Jay-Z had been interested in her, but emphasized that she was an adult at the time. This detail matters, especially given Aaliyah's earlier, widely discussed troubling experiences with R. Kelly. What angered Dash most, he says, was that Jay-Z later chose to work closely with him despite knowing about his predatory behavior.
You know how he is. It's like, yo, I ain't nothing to do with that.
Damn.
What I would love is for someone to ask him, like, yo, why would you still do a project with that man knowing that he raped Aaliyah? That should be the question. Period. It shouldn't be for me. It should be the question posed to him. You know, I don't give a fuck about nothing else. But that right there was bridge burnt. But I just was like respecting her, respecting the business. But I was I moved out of Rock. Like if y'all look at, I left Rockefeller. It wasn't that I got kicked out of Rockefeller. I left Rockefeller. You understand what I'm saying? The option was there for me to stay. I did not want no parts of it. I was done. I left Rockware. Think about it, bro. I said, f all the money, all this shit. I'm out. Now think about, a lot of men would not have made that choice. But any real man would have to make that choice. I was left no choice. He gave me an offer I could not refuse. Like, we done. You know what I'm saying? You gonna fuck with this man. You knew he raped my girl. You was in love with her. How could you do that? It's obviously you want me to feel away. Like it wasn't enough money for us to do that. So I was done. I thought I was cool about it. Like I was like, I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm just be out. And then I thought I was cool about it. I really did.
So this is after Jay tried to talk to Aaliyah, but she chose you over him.
You know the timeline, bro. We did the project when she died, which was even more disrespectful to me. And I'm not getting over that.
It's not just Jay's under scrutiny. The newly released Epstein files mention several other powerful figures spanning millions of pages. One name that has caught widespread attention is Bill Gates. Among the documents are draft emails Epstein reportedly wrote to himself in 2013, in which he references Gates and their past connection. In the draft, Epstein appears frustrated, claiming that Gates wanted old messages erased, a detail that has many now questioning why such deletions were requested.
It said that Bill Gates wanted to get from him antibiotics to give to Melinda because he got syphilis or he got something.
Damn.
The clap, chlamydia, whatever he got. He got some sort of an STD from a prostitute.
Do you think if she could have the choice between getting what did she get, $50 billion or not getting the syphilis?
Whatever she got. I bet it wasn't syphilis. It was probably the clap. It was probably chlamydia or something like that.
That's no big deal.
But if who knows if that's true, though? Here's the thing. Like, Epstein clearly was some sort of a blackmailer. And this is an email that Epstein wrote. So it could be complete fiction. Epstein could have wrote that just to put pressure on Bill Gates for some fucking business deal. Like, who knows? He could have spread rumors and then said that he'll squash those rumors. But these guys are dealing in deception and blackmail. And so you can't, assume that it's true.
Think about how many relationships Epstein had and that he was working almost every one of them, leveraging.
Some of Epstein's draft emails touch on deeply personal matters, written in a messy, confusing style that makes them difficult to fully interpret. Yet many are asking why Epstein would even be involved in private affairs linked to one of the world's richest men. Gates' ex-wife has publicly expressed her disappointment upon learning of these allegations. The conversation then broadens. Some reporters and commentators suggest Epstein was far from acting alone, citing documents and messages in which he repeatedly discussed aiding foreign interests. indicating connections that extended well beyond celebrities and billionaires.
Look at this email here, okay? I just texted it to you. Look at this email here. Zoom in a little bit, Rob, if you could. Thank you. Hey, sent from phone. Unfortunately not. Okay. Unfortunately not. You should make clear that I don't work for Mossad.
Smiley face.
You see it? Yeah. You or I. No, that I don't.
Yes.
Smiley face. So, you mean, look, the claims that he was never part of Mossad or didn't work with them or collaborate with them, if you don't believe he did at this point of the game, you may work for Mossad. You know what I'm saying? That you may be there. And by the way,
I don't believe that. No, I'm just
yeah. So no, but the point I'm making to you is, guess what Mossad's job is? To gather assets.
Of course.
And guess what CIA's job is?
Same thing.
Guess what MI6's job is?
Same thing.
Everyone. Guess what KGB's job is? Every one of these guys that want to go out there, they want to get intel. So this guy was very useful to Mossad.
What do you think about Jeffrey
Epstein was a CIA Mossad asset that was recruited and was doing a blackmail operation. I think that's crystal clear. No question about it. So
pretends to be the party guy, just like Diddy.
Drugs,
cameras, drugs.
The CIA, as part of MKO, had Operation Climax, where they would lure Johns in with drugs and prostitutes, and then this drunk CIA schmuck would sit on the opposite of a two-way mirror and take notes on what, just evil, wicked stuff. And that's what they're using Epstein for, was blackmail operations. And they got some pretty high-level people snared into that. And they haven't released the entire list of close Epstein confidants. But, Israel's former prime minister was one of them.
Barack?
Yes, they got a picture of him visiting Epstein at his New York apartment. And he was well connected to Epstein, but that was all in secret. That is the intelligence part of Mossad. And of course, they couldn't do that without coordinating with the CIA.
I ask this question now. The more I learn, there just always seems to be this connection between the CIA and the Mossad. And I'm going, is it just...
No.
They're the same organization. The more you look back into history, and it's always somehow the CIA and the Mossad is there. On the day that JFK gets shot, we learn about like MLK, we learn about 9/11, and then we're just going, okay, why does it seem like there's a union here, a marriage here?
Mossad is like the sister of the CIA. They're joined at the hip, kind of like Siamese twins, and they use each other for intel and operations and things like that. They are extremely close and in an extremely sensitive relationship. Oh, yeah.
And it totally explains what Epstein was doing. And also Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell, when he died, and didn't he die rather mysteriously? I'm not sure.
He fell off. He found dead off his yacht, floating in the water. They claimed it was a heart attack.
Of course.
Just when he was coming under scrutiny for arms dealing and connections with the CIA and being a Mossad agent, actually a double agent with Mossad and KGB. All of a sudden, he's found dead floating next to his yacht, and...
happens all the time.
Oh, yeah. It's just, just one of those things. See what
a ton of Mossad agents, and I think a former prime minister of Israel attended his funeral. So it's like, guys, hey, maybe
it's like,
Elaine.
Some argue this wasn't random behavior at all, but part of a larger system built on power, secrecy, and control. Do you agree with that view? And do you think Jay-Z will ever be held accountable for his alleged connections to Epstein? Share your thoughts in the comments below.